Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is gonna release tonight, and as a big fan of the books, I'm super hyped for that and a little bit scared. But I thought it would be a very cool idea to play Sir Duncan the Tall and create our alternate history with him today. If you're not familiar with the Game of Thrones universe, don't you worry, I got you. I have a brief story overlook for what you really need to know for our gameplay, so lay back and enjoy the RP. Basically, there once was a king called Aegon the Unworthy. He had multiple children and multiple bastards among them. His oldest legitimate son was Daron, later known as Daron the Good. His second-born was a bastard called Daemon, later known as Daemon the Black Dragon. While Daron was a more bookish character, Daemon was a knight, a fighter, a warrior, and had an aura that a king should have. When Daemon was 12 years of age, his father Aegon granted him the ancestral sword Blackfire, which was known as the Sword of the Kings. Many saw that as a sign that Daemon should be the true heir to the throne, and on his deathbed, Aegon IV, the Unworthy, declared all his children legitimate, and thus also declared Daemon legitimate. A few years after his death, the inevitable happened, and Prince Daemon declared himself King Daemon of House Blackfire, first of his name. This rebellion became known as the First Blackfire Rebellion. Daemon was ultimately killed alongside two of his sons, but his other children were saved and brought to Essos, where they and their uncle Aegon Bittersteel plotted revenge and another Blackfire rebellion. Our journey starts off a few years later, set in this divided world with some Blackfire and some Targaryen loyalists, but with King Daron the Good settled on the throne. Now let this be your only warning. This video contains minor spoilers for the upcoming A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms series. Even though I expect them to be explained in the first episode and we will try to avoid any harder spoilers for the future, consider yourself warned. Now let's finally start in, and if you like the video, please consider liking and subscribing. We are starting in the Shadows of Ashford bookmark at 209 AC. I am not gonna read out loud the bookmark description to prevent major spoilers for you all, but if you would like to read it, just pause the video and continue after that. Everything you really need to know for our playthrough is the RP background of our main character here, Sir Duncan the Tall. An orphan from Fleabottom with neither name nor prestige, Sir Duncan defied odds and thrust himself into the history of the realm by defeating Prince Aerion Targaryen in a trial of the Seven. Having proved his worth as a knight and warrior, Duncan now ventures across the realm as a hedge knight, with a new squire of royal birth at his side. Will Sir Duncan be able to teach this young squire humility and the other virtues of being a knight? Our squire, shown as Egg, of course, is Aegon Targaryen, a lesser member of the royal Targaryen family. In the Shadows of Ashford, dead prince, an exiled prince, and a grieving realm. This is all my dreams amounted to in Ashford. In my eagerness to be a great knight, I have cast a shadow over this tourney, and that I fear will stretch over the entire realm. Before this tourney, I was a simple knight of the hedges, but now my name is known to the House of the Dragon, to lords low and high. If only I could ask Sir Arlan what to do. Sir Arlan is long gone though. It is I that remains. It is I that emerged victorious from the trial of the Seven, and it is I Prince Maker has seen value in as a knight. Though I have rejected his offer of service at Summerhall, I must still teach his son Aegon, as Sir Arlan once taught me. Our journey begins now, but first we must step out from the Shadows of Ashford and put this business behind us. We do now have the choice to either travel to Dawn or to Sunspear specifically, or decide our own way and travel from Ashford to wherever we like. But I think I would actually like for us to travel to Dawn, and that basically already is at the end of our canonical story, because we are now gonna decide our own fate and will do whatever we see in the future for Duncan. So from here on, there will mostly be no spoilers anymore for the series. We can choose a patron for ourselves, and that of course is gonna be the warrior for Duncan. We gain +1 prowess and maximum battle rule. Having arrived in Dawn, we will basically serve as hedge knight down here and fulfill all contracts we can get. The Great Spring Sickness has spawned in the Reach. That is, for everyone who doesn't know, the equivalent to the Black Death IRL, and it will spread quite fast, as you can see. The sickness now spreads all over Westeros. Dawn, the Vale, and the North has been spared. That all is canonically, if I remember correctly. So we are pretty safe down here in Dawn. That gives us time to quickly have a look on Aegon and Duncan. Aegon, as you can see, is compassionate, diligent, stubborn, and just. He's also intelligent. He, of course, is our best friend and squire. And my idea for this playthrough is that Duncan and Aegon probably will stay together for all of their life. Our character, Sir Duncan, is 19 now, and he is compassionate, humble, just, and brave. Is a dutiful captain, strong, calmly robust, and a 3-star fighter. We are lowborn, but our stats are pretty good, so we will make our way. And eventually we will also visit a university to upgrade our skills. The spring sickness is retreating. It has killed over 2.5k characters, but actually the royal family is largely untouched, so the succession is safe, I think. And let's have a quick check on House Blackfire. Yep, they are also still around. Lord Daemon and his siblings are alive and healthy, and Aegon Bittersteel is as well. Aegon has come of age and has become a 3-star tactician and a 3-star fighter, so pretty good. And we've already the opportunity to knight him. So here we go, Sir Aegon Targaryen. We are witnessing a second Blackfire rebellion led by King Daemon the Younger of House Blackfire. Dawn and the Riverlands actually have joined him, but I guess they don't have a chance. They are 60k to 220k, so the rebellion will probably fail. From our perspective, of course, the Blackfires are pretenders and rebels. We are utterly loyal to House Targaryen with Duncan, but I personally am a little Blackfire fanboy, to be honest. What do you think who the rightful king was, the Black or the Red Dragon? Where does your allegiance lie? Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, it seems like the rebellion didn't last long. We in the meantime have joined the tournament and have actually won the duel. We also placed second in the jousting tournament, so we are doing pretty good. We will keep joining tournaments and bring glory to our name. We will also send a Dunk to a university trip to the Starry Sept. And as you can see, we've chosen a quite interesting travel route. You may say that this isn't the best way to travel, but you clearly have no idea about traveling. All jokes aside, I love how much points of interest we can visit down here. The king decided to form a hybrid culture, so the Targaryens are no longer High Valyrian, but instead hybridized with the Crownlands culture. He also converted to the Hues of Trials faith. I might convert them back to High Valyrian via save game edit. Not sure yet, but that obviously makes no sense. Okay, so not all Targaryens actually converted to the Crown High Valyrian culture. There are still some High Valyrians, for example, our good friend Aegon. With that, there may still be a chance to get High Valyrians back in charge. We only have to find a way for that. King Daeron is dead and the throne passes to Valar the Young Prince. We will now travel to King's Landing because Egg wants to see his cousin Valar, and Dunk also has spent enough time on the roads and will try to serve Valar or his brother Mantaris. Interestingly, Valar would sell us Dragonstone if we only give him a hook or increased vessel obligations. We will not do that, of course, because I think that is pretty RP breaking to take Dragonstone from the Targaryens, but I already have another idea for us in mind. Before we do that, however, we will convert to the local culture, which is Crown High Valyrian. So instead of staying Crownlandish, we will adopt the changes the royal family has made to our hometown. So we now are Crown High Valyrian. The culture itself isn't bad, to be honest. It only is a bit weird that so many people in the Crownlands will now speak High Valyrian as their native tongue. But other than that, that's a pretty solid culture. We have raised enough money to do two things. The first is to take the decision the travels of leader Duncan. I have traveled far and wide, been to places strange and outlandish. This decision allows us to create a pretty OP book artifact. Every 12 visited points of interest, up to 60 will increase the rewards. So the more points of interest we have visited, the better the book will be. and we have visited 101 points of interest apparently, so we will gain the maximum rewards. I have seen wondrous things. Here we go, the travels of leader Duncan, and the second choice is the choice to create the book artifact, which we now have in inventory. Here it is. As you can see, we will gain plus 20% monthly prestige, while future rulers will gain plus 40% monthly lifestyle experience. As we still have over 400 gold, the second thing we would like to do now is to become landed. And I think I found a pretty nice spot for us, as the Lord of Wentwater Forest actually holds a bit of land over here in the Duchy of Duskendale, which it seems like House Faring inherited some generations ago from House Hollard. As an RP background, I think that Aegon actually made that possible and negotiated that deal for us. While Aegon and Duncan both have no ambition and don't wish to rule themselves, Aegon thinks that Duncan would be a pretty nice, fair and good ruler. So for only 400 gold, we will gain the Lordship of Crown back with its Castle Hollard. Let's unpause for a second. Here we go. A prize for everything. I could scarcely believe it when I received Lord Hugh's assent to my offer. I will at last have a castle of my own, with a roof and 4 solid walls. I am to be the new Lord of Crownbeck, ruling over the area as a Wentwater Forest vassal, reliant on and beholden to my new liege in equal measure. Though my rapid climb up the Lordship's greasy pole has surely raised the hackles of my fellow lords and ladies. We get the Lordship of Crownbeck and its vassals, and I've already noticed there is a bug going on, probably due to the Dukes Have Courtrooms mod I use, that we actually became independent when we bought the land. We will just swear fealty to the Iron Throne, and they will then probably put us under Duskendale rule, which is fine. I think RP-wise it makes sense. We buy the land with the consent of the king and are then assigned to swear fealty to the Lord of Duskendale. Aegon also went on and arranged a marriage for ourselves with a Princess of Dawn, who is actually a descendant of a Targaryen. She's only 4 years old, but we have the next 12 years to prove our worth. And if we actually do so, we are allowed to marry her. In return, we are arranging a marriage for Aegon, and he shall marry the Lady Alanna Baratheon, a sister of the Lord Paramount of the Stormlands. We can also proclaim a dynastic nickname. So, for example, if we have a look at the Lannisters, they have those nicknames like the Grey Lion or the Black Lion. So their dynastic nickname is Lion, and they can randomly gain nicknames like that. For our dynasty, the nickname is gonna be Elm, because we have that on our coat of arms. So we can become the Black Elm, the Red Elm, etc, etc. Alright, I quickly set up our dynasty. We are now known as the House Tall from the Dynasty Tall, and we will carry the house motto thick as a castle wall. I did also change up our ruler title, so we are now called Sir instead of Lord, with the RP background that we are basically more a landed knight who has been granted a fiefdom for his own, but he is not of true nobility yet. From Castle Hollard we will make our living. We will try to be a good ruler for our people. We will keep traveling around, visiting tournaments and being a knight, and we will also start building up our castle. We will also, and that is a very important point, will stay utterly loyal to House Targaryen and our best friend Aegon. So if there will be any uprisings against House Targaryen, we will support them. If the king would turn against Aegon for what reason soever, we would of course stand with Aegon. We will keep traveling around as much as possible. For example, we are now visiting a tournament in the Westerlands and visit as many points of interest as possible. In the artifacts market, there is a dragon skull for sale, or a moment ago there were even 2 dragon skulls for sale, and we will spend all of our money to buy Zalagon's skull. Those dragon skulls are court artifacts, and we cannot even display them because only the Red Keep can display this artifact. However, we are not buying that one for ourselves, but for a friend of ours. That friend, of course, is Aegon. Aegon canonically always had something for the dragons and always believed he would be the one who would bring the dragons back to life. So we are gonna gift him that artifact just as a token of our friendship. Oh, and Aegon also possesses a dragon egg. Interesting. Time for celebrations. Aegon has a son with his lady Alanna, who is named Aemond, and he has actually become intelligent. So maybe we are starting our own little breeding program for the Targaryens at our court. We ourselves have proven our worth as a ruler and are allowed to finally marry Lady Tissa Nymeros Martell. For everyone who already knows the story, here's a fun fact: we just met Uther the Snail Underleaf at a tournament. For everyone who doesn't, that's a guy Duncan just meets somewhere along the story, without too much impact though. A son and heir. He shall be named Haegon, and he actually has the Targaryen aesthetics, or the Valyrian aesthetics. Very cool. We have another Blackfire rebellion, this time by King Melis the Young, who is apparently the son of Daemon the Younger, but they don't really stand a chance this time. So for the future, I will only keep you up to date with the rebellions if they actually have a chance, or if the House of the Black Dragon eventually dies. Aegon and Duncan are gonna unite their families by marriage, as our daughter is gonna marry Aemond Targaryen, so we will become even closer with them now. One night we are having a discussion with a group of friends about the possibility of actually reaching and returning from Old Valyria to find some artifact from there. And we decide to sponsor that expedition if anyone is up to do that. We have 3 candidates, which are Aegon, Aemond, and Watkin Arnwold, who apparently is a captain of ours, and we will choose him because I don't really want to lose anyone of the others at Valyria. And if possible, he shall focus on bringing us a weapon of Valyrian steel. Farewell, Watkin. We truly hope to see you again. A remnant of Old Valyria. What a chat. He actually found a Valyrian steel sword. That's amazing. Now let's name our weapon. I think Skycleaver is a pretty cool name for our Valyrian steel sword. Basically, our soldiers and captains were saying that it looks like our tall character could reach and even cleave the sky with that long Valyrian steel weapon. Here we have our Skycleaver. It already has pretty decent stats, but they will change in the future because I'm gonna reforge it as soon as we can. So it gets a different design and stuff, and with that also the stats will change. Our good friend Aegon Targaryen sadly passed away. We have to say goodbye to him, but he of course leaves behind his son Aemond. And as if that wouldn't be enough, we also have a new king. King Valar has died and the throne passes to King Aerys. The Blackfire, seeing their chance with the ascension of the young king, are declaring another rebellion that now actually is the 6th Blackfire rebellion, I think. And they are supported by quite some powerful lords. We see the Iron Islands and the Westerlands supporting them, and even the Reach. We of course will stand loyal to King Aerys, and we actually have his sister betrothed to our grandson Maena Targaryen, who of course descends from Aegon and Aemond the Silver Flame. Our own heir, by the way, is betrothed to a Velaryon lady. We are engaging the enemy in a second. Holy crap, we are not joining the battle somehow. Okay, here we go. We have opened our own battle. And yeah, we are crushing them. The Blackfire stand no chance. With that, another rebellion is crushed and the Blackfires cowardly flee back to Essos. Right, for 1k gold we can now reforge our weapon Skycleaver into this new design with those new stats: 9 prowess, prestige, renown and army moving speed. But that design I think is pretty cool, and with the falcon at its head, it kind of fits to the name. We will lose a level of fame doing that, but it doesn't really matter. We don't need that fame anymore, as Sir Duncan is close to death. Here we have our reforged weapon Skycleaver, and looking at our character portrait, I have to say, wow, that looks like a beast of a sword. Sir Duncan the Tall is dead. He has died at 71 years of age, and we will continue as his son Sir Haegon, who now is 22 years old. But my god, what did Sir Duncan achieve? He attended 9 activities, within that 6 grand tournaments, and I think we actually won about 9 or 10 contests at these 6 tournaments. So yeah, we were riding at jousting tournaments, even to the old age, I think he had a pretty good life. With Haegon's inheritance, really much is gonna change. For one, we are named as a true lord due to our noble heritage from Lady Tissa of the Dawn. And also, Haegon is a different man than his father. He is arrogant, brave, fickle and deceitful, and he thinks of himself as something better than most people. Really, that is a thing for this whole generation, as his brother and sisters are arrogant as well. So he will try to expand his influence with all the means at his disposal. Aemond Targaryen, who is arrogant as well, and Haegon will form a pact to grow their influence together and basically form a partnership. Over the past few years, Haegon has built an influential spy network, and we just killed the king. Now let me explain what is going on. We made a deal with Aemond to bring his lineage to the Iron Throne, and for that we will gain the rights to expand our influence all over the Crownlands as much as we want. So we did now kill Aerys I, the throne passes to his son. After that we still have Prince Raymond and his child to kill. And after that, the throne would pass to Alysanne, who is betrothed to Maynard, the son of Aemond, and our own nephew. So Aemond's grandson would then later on take the throne, and Aemond and we would reign as regents for him. Ambitious plans, of course, yes, but thankfully we have become a conniving puppet master via a university visit. So killing people is our specialty. We also have set our own plans into motion. As you can see, our wife over here is actually the heir to the High Lordship of Driftmark. So our children would inherit that. We have murdered some other people who would stand in the line of succession. So when Jacaerys died, we killed Lord Robert. But before that, we even killed his oldest daughter. Not only that, but we also killed her 3 children. So if now the new lord, who is 2 years old, would pass, the throne passes on to our wife. But there are more plans in motion. For example, we have killed Lord Jon Rosby, who passed his throne to Lady Dela, his daughter, but her aunt actually is married to our brother Jon. So we only have to kill that 7 years old, then this 20-year-old Rey, and Rosby would pass to our dynasty. We could then go on and claim the title via Claim Title Dynasty Head Interaction and conquer that from our own nephew. In RP, we would demand his submission, but his regent then, our brother Lord Jon, would refuse, so we would declare war. There isn't much love between Jon and us. We only have an opinion of 53, so it's okay, but not more. At some point, we are also gonna make a play for the High Lordship of Duskendale, probably killing the whole family until we become regent for a child or something like that. We did spend some years on murdering the entirety of the Darkland dynasty and all possible successors of the Old Lord until only this granddaughter of his remained. We have Lady Adela of Duskendale now ruling as our liege, who is 4 years old, and before finally murdering her grandfather, we made sure that he has named us as regent. We will now swing the scales of power to our advantage until we cannot be deposed anymore. After that, we will try to claim her title and overthrow her as her regent and permanently transfer the rule to us. We have constructed our own little castle, the Tall Castle, in the Lordship of Crownbeck, so we now have a family seat named after our house. We have made it quite far in the line of succession. We now have Princess Alysanne as second in line. She already has a son Aegon, so Aemond's grandson will rule soon. We have also started eliminating the threat of the Blackfires. So we have killed some of them, but we have also abducted the 2 living daughters of the Blackfires, which we will then continue to marry to probably Aegon Targaryen, the future king, and one to our grandson. Or our son actually, we will see. But with that, we will finally put an end to the constant rebellions and have their bloodline end in the Targaryen one or in our own. Defenseless. The queen is dead, long live the queen. Queen Alysanne ruled over the 7 kingdoms, and we actually had to remarry her because Maina died. So she's now married to Maina's brother, and her son is married to one of the Blackfires. Whoa, succession of the Iron Throne. Queen Alysanne is dead. And we had nothing to do with that, I promise. She just died, and King Aegon, our grandnephew, now rules the 7 kingdoms. Okay, I think that should end the Blackfire rebellions once and for all. We've killed Maelys Blackfire and have Aegor Blackfire in our dungeons. All other remaining Blackfires are daughters and children and are married to Targaryens and one to our own son. Okay, we have successfully claimed the throne of Duskendale for ourselves. So yeah, we now have a press claim on it, and still being her regent, we should easily be able to abduct her, I think. So she then can't refuse our demands. Our good sister, the Lady of Rosby, just eloped with one of our courtiers. That is her death sentence. Yep, there she goes. We have successfully killed the Lady of Rosby. That leaves our nephew Humphrey in control of that High Lordship. Our liege is now 17 years old, and she somehow even married while being imprisoned by us. So it is time for the play for Duskendale. We have created a claimant faction. Let's press the demands and see what she says. She denied our demands. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. As we have her in prison, we of course instantly have 100% war score. And there we go. We have become the High Lords of Duskendale. She has kept her county, but we will revoke that at some point later when our truce is over. Jorel Greyjoy was overthrown, and we have become the regent for little King Aegon. The king gave away Dragonstone to some adventurers of House Morrigan. I don't like that. I think we will later on try to conquer that and give it to the king again. To expand our influence even further, we have married into the line of Hayford. The heir of Lady Rhaena of Hayford is her grandson Benethan. He has a younger brother and an older sister, and the older sister is betrothed to our son Rhaegal. So we will kill Lady Hayford, then her grandsons, and the realm will pass to Alyssa Hayford. Once she has a son, we will kill her, and our grandson then will hand over Hayford to us. We will also start fabricating claims on Rook's Rest. As we can see, Rook's Rest is the domain of House Staunton. However, House Staunton will lose Rook's Rest and it will pass to the House Elsam. House Elsam is a de jure vassal of the Vale, so the Vale would gain influence over here in the Crownlands. That is something we want to deny them. And we will basically leverage our position as regent to do that without any objection. We also added Water Declaration Sanction to our vassal contract using the borrowed powers from the regency. In his arrogance, Hagon Tall also claimed a personal banner showing the elm of House Tall combined with a 3-headed dragon holding a Dornish sun. He claims that banner by the heritage of his mother, Princess Tissa, who herself was a daughter of a Targaryen princess. We will now demand submission by Lord Humphrey Tall of Rosby, so he shall become our vassal. However, his father, our brother, denies that. As his regent, he decides that we shall not rule over Rosby. This only leaves us with one option really, that is war, to depose the regent and claim the unity of House Tall. And to distinguish ourselves from our enemies, our personal banner shall fly on the battlefield. Okay, that basically is just a carpet siege here. Victory! We have deposed Lord Humphrey and his false regent. Instead, we will give the lordship of Rosby to our other nephew, Baelor. We are hosting a great wedding for Alyssa Hayford and our son. While House Hayford sees great opportunity in this marriage and its alliance, many see that as the downfall of House Hayford. They expect House Hayford to be only the next victim of the ambition of Hagon. Maybe just as a quick explanation why we are going for Hayford and Rook's Rest. With these two duchies, we should actually have enough counties within the Crownlands to form the Lord Paramountcy of the Crownlands. There are more and more rebellions against King Aegon, this time by the Riverlands, who have declared themselves independent, but the realm is really unstable at the moment. At this point, the king, with 19 years of age, also wants to discharge our entrenched regency. We will just accept that because we can't fight it anyway. If we decline, the scales of power will swing massively against us, so we can also just accept it. Nickname the Trickster. Oh yeah, that is fitting for us. Lord Hagon the Trickster will be known forever as one of the great founding fathers of House Tall. While being at the coronation, we have befriended the king, our grandnephew, and we can finally revoke the lordship of Duskendale from our former liege. That leaves us now with our future capital, the Dunfort in Duskendale, which has a special building, Hall of the White Swords. Within the walls of the Dunfort, the Hall of the White Swords has provided the best training for would-be knights and warriors, having provided numerous members of the King's Guard since the beginning of the Order, as well as many great tourney knights. The Hall of the White Swords has long been a great source of pride for both the castle and the city. That's very cool, considering we are basically the kingmaker for Aegon's lineage and also will shield that lineage in the future. It of course also comes with pretty nice stats, not gonna lie about that. Healthy Eater, Lady Alyssa Hayford, has died and leaves her lands to our grandson Lord Aerys Tall. The lords and council members of Hayford, however, are forging alliances and ruling against us and our influence. So we have no other choice than to claim the title by ourselves and declare a war for it. That of course is only done to secure the inheritance of our grandson. We are hunting the traitors down, and together with our allies we crush the rebel armies. They really were no match. That lordship instead will soon go to Rhaegal, our son and Aerys' father. So Aerys will inherit that in the future. We are looking pretty strong now, and thanks to our legitimacy level of 4, we only need 4 more counties to create the kingdom or Lord Paramountcy of the Crownlands. Oh, and what a coincidence. Rook's Rest has exactly 4 counties. We are finishing the last claims over here and will then go in to prevent Rook's Rest from slipping into the Vale. Alright, the claims are fabricated. We have killed another ally of the Stauntons. Now they are weak and ready for taking. So let's claim all the 4 lordships and attack. We just marched them down with 45k troops and they stood absolutely no chance. So here we go. We have claimed the High Lordship and every title within. Alright, I've given those titles back to the former houses. We have no problem with them and they shall keep ruling these lands. We only keep Rook's Rest for ourselves. In response to our request and at the urging of his relatives, our good friends Aemond and Aemond, the king has decided for the first time in history to create a new Lord Paramountcy of the Crownlands and raise us to this position, proclaiming us and our descendants to the rightful rulers of the Crownlands. Here we go, you're now a mighty Lord Paramount, and let's unpause for a second. Here come the vessels. He's granting us now every Lord of the Crownlands as a vassal, step by step, and our influence will grow dramatically. And you would help me immensely if you pressed the subscribe button. I can't wait to see you joining us. Right, here we go. We've received all our vessels. We only are missing the parts that are controlled by the King, the Reach, and by the Stormlands. Other titles like Claw Isle over here or Bar Aemon are part of the Lord Paramountcy of Dragonstone. Our friend Sir Aemond the Silverflame has died. We will have to continue our great work without him. We have to protect the integrity of the Crownlands, and for that we will reclaim Messishook from the Stormlands. It is worth mentioning that we chose a moment to attack the Stormlands when they were weakened anyway, so we can see they field around 8k troops. That of course is not enough to beat us and our allies. A little faction has formed against us and they are declaring open rebellion. Alright, we have won both wars the one for Messie's Hook and the Rebellion. As we can see, we have landed many of the ancestral families in Messie's Hook. So whoever were the rightful lords of those counties, their relatives or themselves are back in charge. Only the lordships of Stonelands and Seedskull are given to a member of our dynasty. That is a bastard branch, a bastard of our sister Eleanor, so he formed his own house once we landed him, House Tallhook. Same goes for the traitors of the Northern Rebellion. Some of those lands were redistributed to members of our dynasty, but some lands are also given back to the houses that ruled it before. Soon we also have to take revenge on the House of Bar Ammon. They supported the Northern Revolt and we actually lost our sister in the battle against them. King Aegon died and that leaves now our great-grandnephew Mataris on the throne. We did not kill him, even though he disappeared without a trace. I would have liked him to live a little bit longer, to be honest, because the new king is only 3 years old again. I guess his reign will be pretty unstable. The time has come for revenge. House Bar Ammon needs to fear us. We already killed the former lady of Sharp Point, and we will now take the land. They will only rally 6k troops to their defense, and that will not be enough. Our wife died, that makes our son and heir, Lord Duncan, the Lord of Driftmark. We've successfully conquered Sharp Point, and I thought it would be a cool idea to give the last line of the Valarians a new home in Sharp Point, as we have inherited Driftmark. We are at death's doorstep, and that is a good moment to take a look at Lord Paramount Hagon, the Trickster. What he achieved is enormous. A son of a landed knight, he became one of the most powerful lords of the Seven Kingdoms, having formed a new Lord Paramountcy and been regent and counselor to many Targaryen kings and queens. Many accused him of being a ruthless murderer, but no one could ever prove it. Oh, but what a murderer he was. Let's have a look. We've killed 36 characters, mostly only to secure the succession of one of our dynasty or the Targaryen succession. In one last scheme, he secures a claim on the High Lordship of Dragonstone for himself and his descendants. Out of RP, that claim actually is a pressed claim, so it will be inherited by our heir. Here we go. Lord Paramount Hagon the Trickster has abandoned his mortal coil at 73 years of age, and the realm breathes a sigh of relief. We will continue as Lord Paramount Duncan Tall, who already is an experienced ruler from ruling Driftmark. King Mataris sadly is a lunatic, and we clearly can feel that. He keeps revoking us some vessels and granting them back to us, simply stacking up tyranny. His player heir is his sister, who is betrothed to one of our sons, so we could claim the throne that way for our dynasty, but I actually don't want to. I just realized due to our Valarian inheritance, we have gained the Valarian armor, also the weapons Last Light and Riptide. But we will give Riptide back to the Valarians. They are loyal vassals and they deserve it. We conquered Dragonstone and gave it to the king. However, he granted it back to another ruler, a distant relative from the Stormlander branch of the Targaryens. I don't really feel that. I had the hope that he takes it as title for the heirs again. So I guess we will go and claim that for ourselves in the future, more or less integrating that to the paramountcy of the Crownlands. With that, we will now also claim the Claw Isle and make the Celticars our vassals. We are claiming the High Lordship so we can easily subjugate them. After that, they will receive the High Lordship back. Said and done. Here we have Lady Monica Celtica as one of our vassals. She, of course, doesn't really like us. Shouldn't matter too much though. She's 59, will soon die, and her son likes us. So that's good. Next we are gonna reclaim Dragonstone. If the king doesn't want it, we will take it. We will establish ourselves as wardens of Dragonstone. Here we go. Dragonstone is conquered. My goodness, these Crownlands are looking beautiful. And we will make Dragonstone one of the personal holdings of the Lord Paramount. With that, we hold 3 duchies, but the opinion of our vassals is still good, so we can actually do that. We are holding Duskendale, Driftmark and Dragonstone, by the way. We never created the duchy for Rook's Rest. Our son is gonna marry Nerys Targaryen, or Nerys Waters. She is a bastard niece of the king. It is time, my friends, to fully restore the territorial integrity of the Crownlands. We will claim all de jure lands that are held by the Reach. While at war, Lord Paramount Duncan has passed away at only 63 years of age. So we will now continue as Lord Paramount Ethan. He is more a man like his grandfather, being an intrigue character, decideful, ambitious, brave and fickle. He surely has some ideas for the future of his house. Ethan has brought the war with the Reach to an end, and victorious end actually, and has reclaimed all the missing parts of the Crownlands. Being an ambitious man, Ethan wants to reform the culture. For that, we will form a hybrid culture with the Westeros Valyrian culture, and that shall be named Blackwater, after the Blackwater Sea that our Crownlands are surrounding. As both cultures share the same ethos, that presents an interesting combination of blood and tongue. We can either go with Valyrian blood and Valyrian tongue, or with Andal blood and common tongue. Normally I would say for our house that the Andal blood and common tongue are more fitting, but Ethan is an ambitious man and wants to style himself as a Valyrian descendant, as he has quite some Valyrian blood in his veins. Nobody can deny that. So we will go with Valyrian blood and High Valyrian tongue. Tradition-wise, we are going with Domain of the Crown, Born of the Blackwater, Blood of the Dragon, Ancient Miners, Maritime Mercantilism, Loyal Subjects, Seafarers, and Dexterous Fishermen. Aesthetic-wise, we will choose High Valyrian military equipment, Westerosi Valyrian naming practices. I think they are way better for us than High Valyrian names. Crownland architecture, Dragonlord vestments and Crownland garments, Valyrian and Andalic heraldry, and Westerosi Valyrian coat of arms frame styles. 44 of 44 vessels will convert, and we will gain 2 Westerosi Valyrian innovations. Let's go! The Blackwater hybridization to a new age, a new era, a new people. Thanks to a university wizard, we have once again become a conniving puppet master, just like our grandfather. Okay, so we have invited 2 people to our courts, Anja and Doran, and we will soon abduct both of them so we can imprison them. The reason for that is found in their inventory. They actually both possess dragon eggs and we want to obtain them. At our current travel, we are also visiting all points of interest that will give us dragon lore. So up here we still have Harrenhal and the Field of Fire before us, but then we've actually visited every dragon lore point of interest. Because yes, you have guessed it by now, Ethan will try to bring back dragons to the world. The only question is, will he succeed or will he choke on his ambition? Alright, so we have both dragon egg owners in our prison and we can actually set their artifacts for ransom. So we already did that for him. We have set the dragon egg as part of our demands, and if we now negotiate his release, we can tick the option to obtain that artifact. And luckily both of them will actually accept that. We, by the way, have Queen Emma reigning at the moment and have just modified our vessel contract for a marriage favor because their father, Prince Mataris, how he is called now, has been deposed. And we will try to marry Daenerys Targaryen. However, she is at the court or at the camp of her father and he will not give her hand away, so we maybe have to abduct her. Our children, by the way, now bear the names of the Westerosi Valyrian culture. So our heir is called Lucerys, but we also have Gaemon and Crispin over here. And I think those names, which we already know from the stories from House Velaryon and Celtica, are way more fitting to the background of our house than straight up High Valyrian names, or I mean, that are Valyrian names, but better fitting than the Targaryen historical names. The time has come for our last offensive war for today. We will try to claim the High Lordship of Mainpool. I think border-wise, it simply makes sense that Mainpool is gonna be part of the Crownlands, and Ethan wants to expand our territory. The Riverlands do not stand a chance against our troops combined with the Westerlands, just as planned. There it is. Maidenpool shall be ours. Oh yeah, the Crownlands look much better now. Maidenpool shall be given to our brother Vagon. I've also changed its map color to represent its drift to the Crownlands. The time has come to try and hatch your dragon egg. A ceremony shall be held in order to witness this grand moment. And that is what we are gonna try to do. We may gain a newborn dragon if successful, but failure may lead to unexpected consequences. First we have to decide if we want to go with knowledge or esoteric hatching, but as we have all the dragon lore, I think we will go with knowledge hatching. And as we do own Dragonstone, let's actually do it on Dragonstone. That should give us massive boosts to the chance of success. And how often do you actually own Dragonstone when you try that? For sacrifice, we'll go with a blood sacrifice, and with the catalyst, we'll go with a massive catalyst. We can now choose which dragon egg we want to hatch, and I think we'll go with a Carmine dragon egg. The next step is to choose a ritual leader, and we will choose Archmaster Clifford over here. He's the Archmaster of the higher mysteries, so I think that is a good thing. What is important to note here is that there's no guaranteed success for that and no guaranteed failure. It all adds up to a chance, I think a percentage, and then you can either fail or succeed. And here we go, we have to choose the blood price. We can choose to offer our own blood, the one of the ritual leader, or everyone, or actually also the blood of a prisoner. We will go with everyone. I think I've read somewhere that this gives the highest chances. And now we also have to choose the type of catalyst. Those could be wood and kindling, hot coals, oil, or as we own Dragonstone and we are a Dragonstone, we could use the lava of the Dragonmont. And that is what we are gonna use. I think I actually never used Dragonstone to hatch dragon eggs, but I guess it has to give crazy increase of chances, right? A new age dawns, and what pleasure it is to be here at its beginning. The time has come to begin the ceremony. Clifford stands above us, the egg in his hands, the knowledge of the ages at his back. The bowl is brought before me, my arm bared and ready. I bite my lip as Clifford draws the blade down my arm, crimson spilling into the bowl. I watch as the others do similarly, Clifford slicing each in kind. The very top of the Dragonmont has been rung with a great iron band, the egg suspended above the molten rock within. With a great ceremony, all watch as the egg is lowered into the lava. The molten rock bubbles and boils around the egg, the heat rising to a fever pitch. The bowl of blood is brought forth and lowered into the pool of lava with all appropriate care. All eyes are fixed on the egg, each breath held in anticipation of the miracle to come. I cannot wait. Oh yes, everyone, we have done it. We have successfully hatched a dragon. All is silent for a moment. The crowd holds its breath. It seems as though nothing will happen. Then the egg shudders and cracks. A small scaly head emerges, followed by a long, sinuous neck. The dragon within is born. A new age of dragon has begun, and I am the one who brought it about. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Hyragon. I think we will rename it though, but that is crazy. Alright, I've calmed down a bit, and I've renamed the dragon to Ilfax. Now what of course is interesting is that there are many other dragon eggs around in the world. Most of them are held by Queen Emma at the moment, but there are also others around in the world. And of course, not everybody can bond a dragon or hatch a dragon egg. You have to be of Dragon Rider blood for that, but this opens up the possibility of a complete new world with a new age of dragons. Lord Ethan instantly changed its house COA. House Tall still bears the elm in the background, but on it there now is a shield with a red background and a white golden dragon on it. 3-headed it is, and black flames coming from their mouth. Now that is more a Blackfire COA, to be honest, than a Targaryen COA, coming from honoring his mother who is a Blackfire. Would Ethan now stay loyal to the Targaryens, or would he make a play for the Iron Throne, simply murdering every Targaryen standing between him and the succession? And would you like to see a continuation of this run? Let me know down in the comments. And what would Sir Duncan think of what his descendants did? Would he be proud or ashamed? But that is where we are gonna leave it. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if so, please consider commenting, liking, subscribing, and hyping apparently. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next one.